Good morning, good morning. We are doing all kinds of things here this morning. This is something that I used scraps to make, and I'm going to turn it into a bookshelf. And it's not going to be a bookshelf, it's going to be an art piece of a bookshelf. And then I'm going to put the titles of all of my journals, the amount that will fit on this page, on here. So yesterday, it's just a piece of not watercolor paper, mixed media paper. That's something that our granddaughter did on here. That wasn't particularly pretty. I kept the ones that were pretty. I love this one. She did that. So I cut out a bunch of scraps, got to my medium-sized scraps, and cut out a bunch of little strips out of a bunch of stuff. Now I'm going to go over this with white. Which white do I want? Not one of those. I want a really thin one, kind of a translucent one. Let's see what I got in here. That's not the one I want. Here's the one I want. This is a really, really cheap white, and it'll be perfect for this. And I'm going to just pour it on here and use a credit card and spread it because I really want it that thin. Just to back off some of the brightness of it a little bit. And then I'm going to let this dry naturally. I like things drying naturally better than by heat gun. Don't get me wrong, a heat gun will work in a pinch. Oh, and yesterday after I glued these on here, I put matte medium on top of it because I knew I was going to do other stuff on here. And today is Good Friday. And today I'm getting my I went to my doctor yesterday. Okay, I need to do something with this. Oh, I know. I had my doctor's appointment yesterday. The doctor did not scold me as bad as I thought he was going to. All right, let's just put this here. This is that board book I got at the beach. Okay, now take this back and scrape it down some more. Before I put the titles on here, I might go and put some more color on this. But it needs to dry. So tomorrow's another day, Scarlet. We're going to let it dry. All right, let's get my Neocolor 2s out and work on this a little bit. And then we might do a layer or two in this board book. I don't know. Now, I know I want to do brown here. This is going to be very messy. Warning, warning, warning. If you're looking for a neat creator, I'm not your gal. These are like wooden bookshelves. So I'm putting the wood part here, and perhaps kind of like this one here. This is the bottom. Now, I think I'm going to pick out a light blue, a really light brown. Oh, maybe here, this. a light green. No, I want a foresty green. What color is this? Raw umber. No, this might be my foresty green, but I'll do it really light. And maybe this is not the right color blue. I need a, I'm looking for book spine colors, and book spine blue is more like a dark blue, but this isn't dark enough. Ultramarine blue, no. Oh, what's this right here? Prussian blue, but I'll just do all of these very lightly. And then I need like a brick red, which I really don't have. This is carmine. So that, let's just kind of go with this. And what I plan on doing is doing it very lightly, because these are water activate. They will activate with water. And possibly, let's just test it right now. See what happens with that. This one I'm probably going to have to go over with another color. In fact, let's just see what happens if you mix it with a little brown. Which, this is ochre, not really brown. That is more like the color of an antique book. Or an old book. That's kind of the feeling I'm going for. So let's color a bunch of these and see what happens. And we're going to go fast forward because it's going to take a while. So my goal in doing this is kind of adding color back to these little strips of paper, aka spines of my bookshelf. And there's theoretically like antique books. And taking cues from the paper that's underneath and try to just adding color on top again, and then I'll go back in right now with my watercolor brush or wet brush, and try and then back a little bit of that off. And when it dries, because of a lot of white paint underneath, it'll dry chalky and fainter. Hopefully. And spoiler alert, it does. But I massaged this quite a bit. When I say massaged, I went back in and I messed with it a lot. Taking layers, adding layers, taking layers off, adding layers, adding maybe another color on top of a layer that I already put on there. And just kept messing with it, on, off with color, and different color spines, kind of like a library of vintage books would look like. And it was very meditative. And then I'm trying to add like how books on their spines sometimes have like a little ridge, especially older ones, and adding shadows and just creating atmosphere for the books. Does that make sense? I don't know. But that's kind of what I was doing. I just kept going in, and many minutes later, getting it to a point where I'm going to start adding titles. And having a great time. Now, putting these little ridges on the spines helped tremendously, in my opinion, on the books. And I had to back them off at times because they were a little bit too dark. Sometimes when I put water on top of the Neocolor 2s, they disappeared. So I would go back in with another color. And my thought process was to maybe add pencil to this, colored pencil also. Colored pencils did not show up on top of this white paint. Even like watercolor pencils. Here I am trying to add water or colored pencils on top just to give them shadows. And they just didn't show up. Even this was a watercolor pencil. And it didn't show up. So I decided to go back in here. I'm just wetting this again. I went back in with black of my Neocolor 2s. And just very faintly added black in a lot of places. To the edges, to oh, this is my towel. Creating shadows, taking water off, adding water back, continuously that back and forth, give and take process with this whole entire project. And it turned out to be very, 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 very meditative because I just got in the zone of just kept adding, taking away, adding, taking away, until I got it to where I wanted it. And really enjoyed this. And maybe it's because it's a rainy day here. It's cold. It's really cold this morning, and we're probably going to have some cold, rainy days for the next few days, it looks like. I don't know what the Masters golf tournament's going to do. They're going to have to extend. Because this rain is all the way back to Mississippi. And we always get our weather from that direction. Anyhow, really, really, this was actually very, very relaxing. And I must say, a while back, I couldn't do stuff like this because I would get bored way too easily. I don't know what that says about me as a growing person that likes to use art supplies. That maybe I'm growing into the mold of an artist. I'm not an artist, but I could be growing into the old mold of an artist. And not mold like the green stuff, but mold like I'm getting shaped into an artist. All right, I just went and asked my husband what this looked like, and he said it looked like a bookshelf. So, without any prompting. I'm like, okay, good. And then he's promptly said to the dog, phew, we got that one right. But I think now it needs to dry really well. And I will come in and start writing titles of my journals on here. And if I can find out the years, I'll put the years in there too. This will kind of be like an over look of all my journals. And this is my towel. This came from the dollar store. Since I'm not Wonder Woman, I have Captain America or somebody. I guess I have a bunch of them. These guys are my heroes in my paint department. But this is just to wipe my paintbrush off of because I keep losing the paper towels. The dog keeps chewing them. And that's better. Anyhow. Man. This is going to dry really good. And because it has matte medium over the top of it and white paint and Neocolor 2s, I think a Foodanesque pen will just, a Tombow Foodanesque thing will go over it. Let's just take one and put right here. This one looks pretty dry. Let's do National Park. Oh yeah. National Parks 100 years. And then I might come back in with like a pencil. And maybe kind of define the edge of the book a little bit more. Now, some of them, the title needs to go horizontally. So I think we're not going to do that. All of our titles are going to be vertical. All right, let's do one more on a blue one, but these are too dark. This one might be okay. Let's do aquatic architecture. Was that aquatic archaeologist? Okay. That's the project we're going to complete next week. Now, let's hope I don't spell archaeologist wrong. And that was in 2023, right? Right. Okay. And this National Park one, I have to go back and look. What else do I know right off the top of my head? I might take one of these yellow ones and put October Daily. 20 Now let's do a red one because Gunnar took December Daily last year. So December Daily 2023 by Gunnar. $2022. So I'm going to do a lot of that. Is the next step, but it needs to dry a little bit more in places, and I'd prefer it to dry naturally. Actually, it's kind of pretty dry. Let's continue. Well, I cut myself off. Let's continue tomorrow with the last bit of this, and I appreciate you watching. Thanks for watching always, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.